I never really get to see much of what happens at school during full moon days. I'm sure we'll be fine. It's pretty soon, but we've spent a lot of time training. I think our team's decently leveled. And we've got, well, we actually have 3 new party members since the last one, so thinking of who to show off in this fight is going to be kind of difficult. Unfortunately, though, there is one clear loser here, which is a problem. And so only a few brief seconds of changing seasons.
Man, she wasn't at the station today. Maybe I should check again. Yeah, on second thought, I better stay put. The operation's tonight. Now that I think about it, we're fighting to protect her too. Dude, that's so rocks! Maybe we really are, like, heroes. Yeah!
Don't move.
Huh?
And so dramatic irony comes full circle.
Tonight marks the 6th full moon. Do you detect a shadow?
Unfortunately, we seem to be down one member.
Yes. It's near Polonia Mall, I think.
Oh no, not the places we go to raise our stats! We can't let that be destroyed!
You think?
For some reason, I can't quite pinpoint its location. But I'm trying to narrow it down.
So it's
Is that its power?
just like those bosses on the Tartarus floors. It often takes a while for Fuka to pinpoint exactly where they are.
I don't know.
We have enough to go on.
But if you know the Arcana will be facing this time, it kind of makes sense for it to be secluded and hidden. Oh, actually,
Did you find Iori?
we were down 2 members, but, one's back.
I can't find him anywhere. His backpack isn't here, so I don't think he's been home yet.
That idiot. He knows tonight's the night.
I don't sense him anywhere nearby. Should I take more time to look for him, just in case?
Well, I mean, definitely, it's, yeah, we can't really use our meta-knowledge of seeing cutscenes to know that he's in trouble, but
No, it's okay.
anyone who goes missing during the dark hour, probably a good idea to find them.
You're all young. Sometimes you just get in one of those moods.
Or, sometimes you could have been attacked.
Anyway, we should focus on the task at hand.
We can't afford to waste any more time. Let's go.
Yeah, I suppose so. And we've done boss fights without Junpei before.
Wait, did he say anything earlier?
Well, I mean, you could provoke his tsundereness by saying that, but didn't really say much.
Alright.
I mean, he has been mentioning a certain name often recently, and has been talking about seeing someone in a gothic Lolita dress. But I doubt that'll mean much to the rest of the party at this point. Whoa. Yeah, this place looks pretty ominous during the dark hour. No better indication that water really does turn to blood here. Look at that fountain.
Detect anything?
Only a faint presence. It seems so close, but why?
All right, let's split up and search for it. There's no time to lose. Hurry.
Wait! Please, give me a moment. This is my responsibility.
Well, Fuka is always able to find the Tartarus bosses eventually, so let's give her a chance here.
Tell me, Lucia, what is this thing that deceives me? Hear the wind's answer in your ear. Touch the earth's answer with your fingertips. Taste the water's answer on your lips.
And I suppose Fire's answer
Hey, is she okay?
is not exactly what you'd want. Probably be too painful.
Don't break her concentration.
Right beneath our feet, some kind of webbing? Perhaps it has something to do with the old power cables underground.
So this would be twice that Igus has helped us pinpoint a location.
They were just left there when the island's construction was completed.
Yeah, it's so useful having someone who's basically a walking encyclopedia.
Power cables?
Yes, they run underground in many directions like a web.
And they're interfering with her ability?
Thank you, Igus. I understand now. Interference isn't the problem. The cables themselves have been possessed by the shadow.
Oh, I think I get it.
They what? So, it's underneath this whole area?
So yeah, the reason why she's having such a hard time pinpointing it is because it's everywhere.
Now it all makes sense.
How are we supposed to beat something like that?
I mean, there's no way we can just smash every single power cable in the area. Meanwhile...
I can't believe how easy it was to sneak up on you. Are the others here just as oblivious?
it's pretty much just him.
Damn it! I can't use my power! This isn't funny! Chidori!
I want you to do something for me. I have new orders for you to give to your friends. Surely you have the capacity to communicate with them.
Me? Give orders?
If you do as I say, you won't be harmed. All you have to do is call off the mission. Easy, right?
So this is a kind of an interesting and awkward situation. Junpei's being a braggart has actually both worked for and against him. On the positive side, he is not capable of doing anything she's asking him. The bad side is, once she realizes that, she's gonna have no more use for him.
And not just the one tonight. All of them.
You want me to cancel the mission? You're not one of them, are you?
Quit wasting time.
Yeah, conveniently she wasn't present during the previous full moon operation, so we didn't know she was with them. So, like I said, pretty bad situation he's got himself into there. Being held hostage and not being able to give in to your captor's demands at all because it's physically impossible of you.
This is a problem. We have no means of attacking it.
In your notes from previous battles, it said there was a shadow that took control of the monorail.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that.
Just like that one, this shadow must have its own body. Let me see if I can find it.
So there's like one central core to all these wires. If we beat that...
Even if we know where it is, we might not be able to get to it.
There may still be a way to reach the structure the buried cables feed into.
We'll see.
Fuka. I found it.
Don't strain yourself too hard.
It's close by, in this mall.
In here?
It's inside a small chamber underground. It's rectangular, so I assume it's man-made.
Is it some sort of room?
Wait a minute. I overheard the manager of Escapade. He was saying that the power's been acting up lately.
That's no surprise.
He said the control panel is located beneath the club.
Well, that'd make sense.
Maybe we should take a look.
That's it!
Good job, Yamagishi.
Yeah, no better place to take control of the area's power supply than going right to its source.
All right. Once we're ready, we'll make our move.
So, our dungeon for tonight, if you can call it that, is actually going to be Club Escapade. Though, just spoiling it, there's no real dungeon here. This full moon operation's actually pretty short in terms of the actual gameplay portion of it. Anyway, something that I just wanted to try and check, is the Velvet Room accessible? No, it's not. Okay, then. Be kind of interesting if it was, but it doesn't seem like it. So anyway, who are we bringing to this operation? Normally, I'd bring Yukari for her healing abilities. The problem is that this boss is pretty much entirely focused on electric attacks. So, both Yukari and Aigis, unless you have some kind of protection against that, both of them are pretty bad ideas. Meanwhile, Akihiko is a very good idea because he resists that, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him. Firstly, I want to see if his equipment's all up to date, though. Root Knuckles, Robe of Salvation is fine. What are those mechanical... Reduce Stumble. There's got to be better shoes in here. Crimson Greaves. Well, I mean, he resists it anyway, but it's kind of nice to have. Do I have any... Oh, wait, no, those are increases ice... Oh, of course that increases ice damage. That's Surf's demon form. Of course. Anyone who hasn't played a certain game probably won't know what I'm talking about, but anyway. So that'll be for Mitsuru. Oh, yeah, I'll be Garuda or something for wind. Anyway. So, Land Badge is fine for him. Do I have any better armor? I need to actually remember, speaking of better armor. Now, I need to talk to him again to add him to the party. Now, I need to remember, while I'm here, I need to give Aigis the armor that I bought for her. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be using her here. Like I said, this boss is very bad news for her. No, resist ice low. That's not... I probably should have brought some better legs as well. That sounds really weird, but yeah. And so here's the thing, we have Ken, Koromaru, and Shinjiro as new party members that we can choose here. Thing is, of all of them, Koromaru is not great against bosses. At least not bosses that are not weak to fire, such as this one. Really, the only thing he can do is incredibly weak physical attacks and Tsukukaja, and that's basically it. And I don't think he's even learned Tsukukaja yet. So, Ken, on the other hand, he can heal. And healing will definitely be useful here, so gonna add Ken to the party. And lastly, we've just got Shinjiro. It'd be remiss not to use him here. Now, what I want to do first is change his equipment, because his starting items are pretty bad. So, let's give him a bulletproof vest and definitely better boots. Reduced Stumble is actually not bad for him, for reasons that I'll be showing right now, because... Yes, since this is the first time we'll be using Shinjiro, take it away, Bio! It's been a long time coming, but now Shinjiro has finally rejoined SEES, where he can resume his job of hitting things really, really hard and not much else. To quote he himself, healing and support, I don't do that crap. Shinjiro is very, very one-note as a party member. He hits things, and he hits things hard. That's pretty much all there is. But he does have a lot of unique advantages. In terms of overall stats, he's almost completely identical to Junpei, so that's not one of them. Although he does, weirdly enough, have higher magic despite not learning any magic moves. What's really special is his complete lack of any elemental attributes. Shinjiro has no weaknesses, but he has no resistances either. And this is completely unique to him amongst the party. This has quite a few advantages. For one, it means that Shinjiro can only be knocked down by missing attacks and getting criticaled. Because of this, accessories that reduce the chance of you being criticaled or reduce the chance of stumbling are very good to give him, because that can make him virtually immune to being knocked down. The lack of weaknesses also means he can very easily fit into any party. In terms of skill set, Shinjiro is also somewhat similar to Junpei in that he mostly learns physical attacks and counter skills, but he exchanges Junpei's fire magic for, well, more ways to increase his own damage output. The only thing vaguely resembling a support move that he has is Evil Smile. It's not exactly reliable, but enemies inflicted with fear have a higher chance of being criticaled, and once again, that aids him in his main job of smashing things. Speaking of which, the other really excellent ability that he gets is Power Charge. At level 50, he is in fact the only party member who learns this skill naturally, and that is pretty much one of the best things he has going for him. Power Charge physical attacks hit extremely hard, back that up with fear, and he's going to be doing quite a lot of damage. Apart from that, there's really not much else to say about Shinjiro's learn set, it's pretty much just physical attacks. Shinjiro, to reiterate, he smashes things in the face. It's pretty much the only thing he does, but he's very good at it. Shinjiro's persona is Castor, who, in mythology, was the twin brother of Polyjuice's, Akihiko's persona. Now, Akihiko and Shinjiro aren't brothers by blood, but they were raised together in the same orphanage as children, so they pretty much are, and they certainly treat each other like brothers, so this is a nice nod to their relationship. On the voice acting front, Shinjiro is voiced by Grant George, and it's actually one of Grant George's most famous roles. Though he is also Jin and Officer Kurosawa in this game, and doesn't really make much of an attempt to vocally distinguish between them, I've seen some people say in the comments, but he does such a good job with Shinjiro that I can really forgive that. If you followed other series on this channel, you may have heard him as Toya in Lost Dimension. It's not a fully confirmed credit, but it's pretty obviously him. He's also played Suigetsu in most of the Naruto games, and quite recently, he was, again, not fully credited just yet, but it's pretty obvious, he played of all people N in Pokemon Generations in episode 15. Grant George is definitely not the first person that I have in mind to voice N, but it was kind of interesting, and it did sound a bit different to his usual roles. With that done, let's add him to the team. Not quite the original C's team, but, well, I mean, this team kinda has connections regardless, if what Akihiko is implying is true. So, that is pretty much everything. Other preparations that I want to say are, I'm not sure what weapon that I currently have equipped. Okay, I've got the cross spear. So, what could we use here? Okay. That is only a single-handed sword. I didn't know that. I thought that was a two-handed sword. So, this is actually pretty amazing. Gonna go with that. I completely forgot. I thought that was a Junpei weapon. Anyway, this is fine. These are probably fine. Increases max SP by 30%. Okay, I believe Ken has the SP recharging item. So, other things that are useful for this fight. As far as personas go, who here is weak to thunder? You're strong to that. You are weak to that. I definitely don't want to use you then. Queen Mab, however, is immune to it, which is very nice to have. If you have an electric immune persona here, definitely go for it. You are not going to be useful at all. Now, I forget, who was it here who had Revolution? You have Rebellion. Does any... Oh, you have Revolution, okay. So, I'm actually going to start off with a Revolution persona. Although, wait a minute, do I have any... Who has auto skills? Oh, you have Auto Tarukaja. Auto Sukukaja. Another Auto Sukukaja. And several Auto Tarukajas. The auto skills are actually not going to be that helpful because we won't be spending that long... Actually, maybe Auto Tarukaja might work. So I'll start with Nata Taichi. Okay, enough stalling, let's get to the actual fight. Yes, let's head for Club Escapade. And time to actually show what Shinjiro can do in a real fight, which, in this case, like I said in the bio, is really just hitting things. That's really the main thing he does.
That's the source. It's connected to all those cables. So be careful you don't get shocked.
Wow, there's even the instruments in the background there. Must be storing the stuff here. And so, it's time to fight the Arcana Hermit. Yeah, this thing, of course, total coincidence, but seeing as a game that got released relatively recently as of uploading this, This thing reminds me so much of circuitry, it's ridiculous.
Be ready for anything.
So, yeah, this is the Hermit boss.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Upright, the Hermit represents, and I'm going to go straight into Gunga here and activate the Revolution. Upright, the Hermit represents introspection, self-discovery, retreating within yourself to find answers. But reverse, the Hermit represents an excess of that, completely isolating yourself from the outside world, and completely focusing on yourself, ignoring others. I should have put Akihiko on debuffing. Oh well.
Watch it. Light won't work on the enemy.
So, the Hermit drains electric attacks, immune to light and darkness, obviously, as usual. Most of its repertoire consists of electric elemental attacks, including its signature move, Giga Spark. This we'll probably be seeing in a little bit. Also, it can Mind Charge, so be wary of that, and yeah, so I pretty much pointed out, don't bring Yukari here. It uses pierce attacks, but it very rarely attacks physically, and that's why I feel relatively safe using Revolution here. You can get knockdowns on it with criticals and get all-out attacks, that's what I'm going for. My strategy is to set up Revolution, and in all the times when it doesn't, well, I don't have to set up Revolution, basically. I'm going to be... Okay, he's Jinjuro time.
Give it your best shot.
So, I actually didn't notice this before, but the very first time any character uses their persona, they always get a cut in, even if they didn't critical. Thanks to commenters for pointing that out, I didn't actually know that. But anyway, on the turns that I'm not going to need Revolution, I'm going to actually go right into Queen Mab, and I'm just going to have Garistu focus on debuffing and possibly curing status in this case. I'm going to let the party members handle most of the damage here, really, because I just like having the safety of the electric immunity. I think it won't be the end of the world if I keep poison on 2 people. It's not like fear or anything, so I'm going to just Raku into the boss. And this thing did not immediately go for Giga Spark like it did in my first attempt at this, so I'm not entirely sure. I should have, again, put Akihiko on debuffing. I'll remember to cure this afterwards. I'm very glad the scan went through, otherwise Akihiko and Ken might have been using spells on it that heal it.
Ready for this?
Now, I'm going to need to make sure I keep topped up on healing, because Shinjiro uses a lot of HP.
Alright, let's kick some ass.
Let's do this!
Let's do it.
And, hey, he said exactly what I said. So yeah, this is pretty much why I had Revolution. Pretty nice damage there. Okay, here it is. Here's charge. It needs to charge up for several turns
The shadow has a lot of electricity charged up.
in order to use its signature move, Giga Spark.
Please be careful.
Now, if this was Persona 4, now will be your cue to guard, but here's the thing, there is no guard command in this game, so just make sure that you always have a Persona that's immune to electricity equipped while it's charging. It takes several turns to charge, so now's your time to buff, hit the boss, really do anything you want, because there's no way you can actually stop this attack. Where is... I do believe I have, like, a status curing water? Here we go, Amrita water. Let's just use this. This is fairly rare, but I think I'm fine using this to just cure this poison. And again, I forgot to put Akihiko on. Oh, you can tell that I've been away from this game for a while. And there's another critical.
Here's our chance. Let's do it. Understood.
Yes, let's do it. So you'll see why Revolution is useful here. Wow, it's already more than half down.
Ready for this?
Rakunda, Auto Tarakaja, Revolution. Wow, I'm getting a lot of criticals.
Alright, let's kick some ass.
We certainly are doing that. Seriously, so many criticals. Might not even get to show off what this thing... Okay, there's Zeodyne, so it can still attack while it's charging. Fortunately, it hit the... Oh, hey, it's stopped charging. Oh, I guess you can interrupt the charge by doing enough damage. I actually didn't know that, so... Wow, this fight is going a lot better than I've ever seen it go before. It's kind of interesting. So now I need to remember to put Akihiko on support. Because Ken is doing a bit more damage physically, and I want those debuffs going through. You're still debuffed on the defense front, and do I have like a full party heal that... Anyone here have, okay, I know that you, I believe, you have Medea, don't you? Yes, you do, but you're weak to that, so I'm not going to equip you. I don't think anyone else has Medea, so... Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and use a bit of medicine on Shinjiro to make sure that he can keep fueling his physical attacks.
I don't need your help.
He's one of those party members, I see. Okay, I'm going to need to use Revolution again next turn. Anyway, it has to charge for about 3 or so turns. Some people think the charging might actually be another aspect of the reversed Hermit Arcana in that it just retreats into its own world and doesn't even realize how vulnerable it is. Also, the fact that it is in a secluded area, it's isolated itself, and it is sucking out all the power from everything else. Again, pure focus on yourself without any regard to how much damage you're doing to the people around you. And you are charging, but I need to put Revolution back on. Thankfully, my Revolution persona is not weak to electricity, because that would be really bad. And yeah, once again, Revolution is relatively safe because this thing almost never uses physical attacks. It does sometimes, but it's just, the risk is just far too low. Now, you're going to lose your defense debuff soon. You know, I just realized, I think it might be the knockdown that interrupted its charge. That's probably what happened. And, oh yeah, so it immediately loses the aura.
Alright, let's kick some ass.
So, okay, I guess with my Revolution strategy, I accidentally discovered a way to counter its charging. I actually didn't know that before. I've never been lucky enough to get criticals while it was charging, so... Okay, there's the pierce attack. It just whacks you with its wires. It's not very strong, and even if that did critical, it probably wouldn't be that much of a threat. So, back onto Queen Mab, and this thing has never got a chance to use its signature move. Basically, it's just really big electric damage to everyone, and it also is practically guaranteed shock. Which mostly isn't much of a problem, because shock just wears off during your turn, so... Unless it hits a weak... Oh, in fact, it won't get a 1 more, because that's a full party hitting attack. So yeah, the shock's not really that big of a threat. Is it dead now? No, it's not, but Shinjiro might be able to finish this. And I believe that would be... Goodbye, Hermit! Thankfully, this isn't circuitry, so I wouldn't have to check to see if that was a good nature and soft reset if it wasn't. Anyway... Seriously, that thing's resemblance to circuitry has made me... I'm going to name all my Ultra Beasts in Sun and Moon after reversed shadows. Circuitry is obviously going to be Hermit. I already have Empress, who's a Pheromosa, and Kaguya... It's kind of funny I said Kaguya, I called it by the wrong name.
Congratulations! I no longer sense its presence.
Celesteela, which is based on Kaguya, is Aeon, for reasons that people who played later Persona games will probably know.
Oh, and also, I think I found Junpei.
Well, that's good.
He's back at the dorm, but something seems strange.
If you couldn't sense him when you were back there, something's obviously gone wrong. Before we leave, though, one more thing that I want to say. The power situation at Club Escapade, as revealed in a later Persona game, caused a gig that was meant to be scheduled tonight to be cancelled. This gig involved a character who is in a later Persona game. So, interesting that they actually referenced this full moon event in a later game.
The chairman's there too, so he should be okay. But let's hurry back just in case.
Wait a minute, the chairman who can't use a Persona? I don't think that's very good protection. Yeah, I think we should hurry.
It seems they've completed their mission.
And you have a way of sensing that somehow.
What? You can tell?
Yes, through Medea's eyes.
I think we've found the support member of Strega.
Medea?
My friend.
Chidori?
That's not important. Why didn't you call off the mission? Is it worth your life? Dying is what people fear most, isn't it?
Well, I've never actually given anyone orders before.
Thankfully, that's only coming out now. That would have caused serious trouble if that had been revealed earlier.
They wouldn't listen to me anyway. You see, I'm not really the one in charge.
So you were lying earlier. Why? I don't understand.
Hey, answer me this. Was it all just an act? Us meeting, your wound, the picture, were you just setting me up? Now that I think about it, that cut healed pretty quickly. I see how it is.
That was...
Junpei?
They're back already?
She's a persona user.
Medea, come.
Chidori, stop!
No! Give it back!
When did she...
Sorry, but we can't let you use this.
Well, I guess we've found a downside of evokers. Take it away and the persona user is helpless.
Medea! I didn't sense her up until this very moment. This is my only power, and yet...
If even Fuka couldn't sense her, then she must have some sort of power to conceal her presence.
Considering that she seems to be Strega's equivalent of Fuka, then, would it make sense that she wouldn't show up on scans?
I didn't have the slightest clue she was here.
In some ways, that also makes sense why she wasn't in that previous full moon
Are
operation.
you a member of the group that goes by the name Strega? I have a number of questions for you.
I'm not afraid of dying.
Chidori!
Medea! I'm...
Clearly, she's emotionally unstable. We'll let her rest and save our questions for later.
Chidori.
So, once again, we learn a new tactic. Can now use Attack Fallen. Pretty useful with Ken's cruel attack, actually. Though, it seems like they prioritize doing that anyway sometimes. Not just that, but we've also captured a member of Strega, so pretty eventful full moon all around. Unfortunately, it's not been good for Junpei. Though, I'm pretty sure she wasn't setting him up the whole time. She only started suspecting him when he went on that rant at the very end. And to any normal person, he would have got away with passing that off as a joke, but... Yep, just happened to be exactly the wrong girl that he met. Just kind of the luck of characters with the Magician Arcana, I guess. But we, actually, wait, it's a Sunday. We can save now. That's actually really good. I like that. We can go ahead and save immediately. And I don't need... Oh, wait. Cutscene.
I'll ask you once more. Is Chidori your real name? What kind of organization is Strega? Are there others besides you three?
Hey, wait, Junpei! You're not supposed to be here, remember?
Chidori!
Junpei! Sorry. He wouldn't stop bugging me about this place.
How are you feeling? Seems like you've calmed down.
She certainly has. In fact, she won't say a word. Maybe we should confiscate her sketchbook, too.
Hey, come on. What good would that do? That won't make her talk.
I'm not so sure about that. She was quite upset when we took her evoker. Speaking of which, where did you get that?
Medea! Give it back to me! I want her back!
Hey, I told you not to bring that up, didn't I?
Then what am I supposed to do? I'll have someone else try next time.
Yukari, call a nurse. We're done for today. I'll inform Yakutsuki-san of the difficulties we're having.
Why? Why did you take it from me? Medea!
Come on, Junpei, let's go.
Chidori, what happened to you?
I think Junpei may be onto something, though. If you treat it like an interrogation, she probably won't talk, but she seemed to be fine opening up to him earlier, so maybe he should stay for now. And being a Sunday, we can do this. So, what do you got today? Brand watch. Okay, then, one of those. And 5... It's kind of weird that I'm going to want this just for those, but those are actually quite rare. You can't buy them in the pharmacy, and you can normally only get them out of Tartarus chests. They're SP recovery items, which are, I've stressed earlier, pretty rare in this game. Since this is a Sunday, normally we could see Hermit, but sadly those days are over. Well, we just saw another Hermit and completely destroyed it. Yeah, that fight went so much better than I ever thought it could possibly go. I didn't even realize that Criticals interrupted its charge time. So that's the third boss so far that we haven't even seen its signature move at all. But I have explained what it does. Oh, and of course, on the next episode of Phoenix Ranger, Featherman R. Episode 29, Final Battle. Did a random brawl put Hawk out of commission? Yes, the old one of the heroes is... Huh, wait a minute. Shouldn't it be gone? Shouldn't Apathy be gone? Anyway, I was saying it's one of those things where, one of the heroes gets taken out of commission for a dramatic fight. So, yeah, no Tartarus tonight. Not that we'd be going anyway. Yeah, she seems to have some kind of ability to disguise her presence from scanners, which is actually quite useful. I'm not sure. Tell me about it. Yeah, Shinjiro. So, for those of you who played the PSP version of this game with the female protagonist, Shinjiro has a very guy-dangity thing you need to do to romance him, and he's the least guy-dangit of the female protagonist romances. So, yeah. I guess I can just say this now. What you need to do is, you actually need to max his social link, and then talk to him and spend time with him once more. The social link itself doesn't let you go romantic with him. You can only do it by actually doing one extra conversation, essentially rank 11. And the game keeps telling you, no, your bond can't possibly go any higher, you're wasting your time, but you have to say yes. And again, I reiterate, that is the least guy-dangit of her romances. But anyway, after that tangent, time to save now that we've beaten that boss.